What is up everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the new leaks that are coming to Elden Ring Nightreign. If you're enjoying your time in Elden Ring Nightreign so far, please leave a like on the video and subscribe. Now we're going to get straight into this new tweet that came straight from Software under the Elden Ring account on Twitter. But the night is far from over. In addition to the DLC releasing later this year, new additions will be gradually implemented, including enhanced fights against existing nightlords starting this month, as well as duo expeditions at a later date. Thank you for your support. We are just getting started with the game as it is fairly new. It hasn't even been a month since the game is released, and there's already hinting at dropping new content for us and just hinting at new exciting things that we can do, including what they say here. There's going to be enhanced fights against existing nightlords, which I think the actual nightlords themselves are pretty beefy, but having an enhanced version, in my opinion, I think I better go back to the drawing board and recalibrate my build to get ready for what's coming up next, because you guys who are already slaying out there, getting to level 50 and becoming absolute mad lads, you guys are going to have a cakewalk with this next one though, so hats off to you guys. Anyway, so the content they give to us in this game is very big already off the bat, with random spawning areas, RNG, basically finding your loot. You can never find the same run multiple times. Everything is exciting. You always start out a new run and never know what you're going to expect, which is a really high draw that this game has. And they're hoping to get this content to us by this month, which is June of 25, and the game just pretty much literally came out. I'm happy for the hunger for the studio, because it's obvious that the team that are behind this game are really hungry to show what they've got for us, and they're really enthusiastic to get as much out for us as possible and never leave us bored, which hats off for the studio, because I remember when Elden Ring dropped, you'd have to wait an eon for like new content, and by that time like everyone has explored it in and out. The reason why they probably did that is because it's a huge game in and of itself, and I agree, but it just got boring going through the same loop over and over again. That's why I like Nightreign, because they've added an exciting new taste and flavor to the game that really won't get old, that incorporates multiplayer, which always left the game fresh. So after you finish your solo runs, in order to keep the game fresh and new and keep you playing end game wise, was going through the multiplayer. So they've just scrapped the whole experience and just left the end game of all the other games as the game itself, which is pretty much, I think, the reason why a lot of people play is for the camaraderie you have with your friends and just going through things and experiencing it together. That's like really top tier gameplay. It's really up there with most of the best games in the world, so that's why I really commend this team that are trying to get new content for us as soon as possible. Now people online are hoping and speculating that the DLC coming will contain more nightlords, but also some more familiar bosses. So in terms of like the Everjail bosses and like the formidable foes you see on the map, they could add more familiar bosses from the Dark Souls series. You know, just the ones that people don't often beat or go through because they're not in the direct line of the main quest. So it gives people a chance to actually experience that boss moveset again and the boss itself, which is a refreshing experience, having bosses that are, you know, side bosses that casual players don't really get to experience because they're not directly thrown in front of you. Speaking of which, enhancing the actual existing nightlords leads to our third phase for these bosses. Now there are leaks, I can't really go into too much detail, but apparently these nightlords all have a third phase coming in the files, and people have data mined it and they've seen them, and their own separate OST original soundtrack when third phase plays. So I'm guessing that will go for the enhanced boss mode, and that'll make the fight more intense when that plays, and when you're encountering the third phase, shit's gonna get real and you're gonna get strapped in for an exciting experience. Bosses like the Tricephalus boss and the Gaping Jaw are all leaked, all their third phases, and it's pretty much confirmed coming, but there are some that aren't leaked yet and we don't know what they could be, but there is speculation online that people know exactly what type of phases are actually coming in, so that's exciting, and it should come pretty soon, I guess in 1 week or 2, maybe at the end of the month. And for these new enhanced bosses that are harder to kill, they're apparently leaked to be better rewards after killing them. Obviously you'd expect that, better souls and different versions of the relics that you already get for killing them in the first place, like dark versions of these relics that offer a different affinity, like a dark affinity for your character buffs, to like an alternate version of them, possibly more powerful. You'll get those after you kill the enhanced version of those bosses. Now they do say that duos is coming at a later date. I really hope that it comes with the enhanced boss as one update, but I think they're going to trickle in the content just to keep us engaged over a time. What I do feel like I'm gonna see in duos is gonna be the middle ground between solos and trios. So in solos, you do get a Wending Grace right off the bat, and they make the bosses easier, and they hit less, and you do more damage in solo, which is just like a damage multiplier that is added when you have more people join your game if you're playing like a Dark Souls game. That damage multiplier is essentially gone when you're playing solo in Nightreign. In addition to that, I think in duos there will be more runes to give other than trios, which when you defeat an enemy, they will give you a hefty amount of runes to keep up with your level, to progress further, because there's less people killing less shit. So that would be the ultimate idea that they're going for. It would be just like a more balanced gameplay as opposed to playing in trios. And if it's just you and your other friend, it makes it much easier and less headroom for other people to dip out if you're playing randoms. So saying if you're playing duos and the other dude dips out, it's just one less guy to worry about. And collecting a team of 3 people will be much easier than just collecting one other guy if you need someone as a +1. I think this is a really good mode that they should add, and I think the reason why they didn't want to add it is because it could be too OP. Who knows? We'll see in the future. There is one thing that I want to delve into, is the fact that when I go into the character select screen, there's a lot of empty spaces underneath the Nightfarers selection, which leads me to believe that there is a lot more selection that we can have be done. There's no way that they left these empty blocks with the open canvas behind it while just leaving the base Nightfarers that we actually got. It might be a hint towards new Nightfarers, and there are a lot of empty spots there that I know will be filled up, and I'm excited to see what they will add to it. It was just a thought that I had when I was looking at the character selection screen, and I saw the empty slots and I thought, wait a minute, I can definitely see there being more here. And it was just an exciting revelation that hit me, and I thought, wow, they're really cooking up with this one. They know what they're doing with the incremental updates and slowly building the game to what it should be, keeping us engaged and giving us a different experience every year with new updates and new enhancements. The changes that I would like to see in the future updates, not this one maybe, but maybe they can take some notes about this, is I've jotted down a few notes here about what I want to see, is better relic sorting. Now, I want more relics that are more OP to my character and don't have like these random effects that I don't need, like fists do more damage with a bunch of other shit on it that I need. I would like to see sorting where they give all 3 effects the priority in the lineup and being the first sorted, as opposed to having their rarity overall and the damage they can do as a multi-build. I would like to see a more linear build of relics that I can use for any Nightfarer, and that will boost the overall strength of them, and not for gimmick weapons like adding poison mist to my weapon, but at the same time giving me an extra alt charge ability. If we do find one that has ultimate abilities and constant like help for your Nightfarer, I would rather have them first in the list and not have them lost within the jungle of relics that just randomly clunk up your inventory. You can manually sort them out, but I think better relic sorting is a good idea. Having priority over your character skills coming first and just base physical damage boost, as opposed to having little gimmick effects tagged on to a rare relic and calling it rare. Another thing I can see them doing is buffs. Now, I would say more to the tune of the Recluse being more helpful with their sorceries and catching more items with sorcery and being more effective in that matter. And also the Revenant, obviously having more abilities and having more flexibility when it comes to having faith weapons, not being such a sponge, and just still having the passive ability of summoning, and that's great and all, but we need more options when it comes to faith. Just like Wilder has his greatsword and the effects that he can do with that, things that separate him from the other Nightfarers with his specialty weapon, there has to be a dedicated faith orientated selection or option for the actual Revenant. Right now it's just extra damage with it due to scaling, but if you add extra effects like Wilder's flame sword into the Revenant itself, something creative like that, that'll be really cool to see. And maybe some nerfs as well. Who knows who's going to get nerfed. I can't really say anything's OP, especially Iron Eye, because he fits in for what he does. I definitely see my sights on Iron Eye being nerfed, especially in trios, although it is pretty balanced already to begin with. One thing I'd like them to add in an update is open lobbies. So if someone disabandons the match, leaves the match, and you have to fight through the map yourself, if you have 2 other people leaving and it's just you by yourself, the lobby should be open so anyone searching for that specific Nightlord can join sessions session, they should have an option to join that session that's already in progress, and they should be prioritized and rewarded for doing that, as opposed to just leaving the game or dying. That's something that would leave longevity through playthroughs and keep momentum going with your game, as opposed to just knowing that the run's doomed because someone's just left your game. But a huge fix, a huge giant fix I want to see is putting the mini-map on the HUD, as opposed to clicking the option button just to see the mini-map. You know how many times I get annoyed because the rain's coming in and I need to know exactly where it's coming in, and I've got moments to decide what decision I need to make, and time is of essence, and I have to pick up the map and I forget exactly where I'm going or running, and it's weird, you can't see any direction where you're going. If they give a counter to the rain on the minimap as a HUD option, just statically on your screen, and it can be toggleable if you need to switch it off or not, if it's in your way, if it's too obtrusive on the HUD, you can have an option to take it off the HUD. If they add it as an option to put on the HUD, that you can see like a zoomed out version of the minimap and a cursor of where you're standing, so you get the rain directions, that would help a lot, especially in these type of battle royale games. It's almost necessary to have the HUD on you, because you can make decisions straight away based on where you are and where you want to go next. They also need to add crossplay so we can have more players going against each other online, and the game servers won't be dead after a couple years. If they do add crossplay, and if no one is playing this again, I can still go against the odd person on console. My game won't be dead and I can still play the freaking game that I love. But with that being said, guys, I hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for more content, including Nightreign. We're going to go balls deep with this one. Really enjoying this game, and it is refreshingly new as opposed to what we're used to playing with From Software. So this is a big thumbs up for me, and they've incorporated all my favorite qualities in the various games I play into one game. So thank you guys. Till next time, I'm out.